Hi guys, welcome to a special Koi Talk video we've got for you. Today we've got Dave Prince here from RP Aquatics, inventor, can we say inventor?
Co-designer.
Co-designer,
Well,
yeah.
they are my design, but we've got engineers who work with us as well.
Of the pond reactor, which was quite an intrigue. When I heard about the concept, I was quite intrigued about it. I am a bit nerdy, if you've sort of everyone that follows us at Koi Talk. I am the nerdy guy out of Rick and myself, and I like the concept of it. And then obviously I know Joe was in touch with you, and then we've got quite a lot of ponds here at the farm, so seemed like a marriage made in heaven. So here you are today. This is sort of your chance to let everyone know what the product is about, perhaps if people aren't familiar with it, and how they can apply it and use it in their ponds at home. So obviously immediately I'm sort of intrigued by the process by it removes ammonia almost instantaneously.
Absolutely, yeah. It's such a high grade media that basically, so long as the flow rate is correct, you can't get ammonia going in one end and coming out the other. It's as simple as that. There's nothing special to it. It's not a filter. It's a chemical reactor. So it goes after your filtration system. So, for example, on a brand new pond, you put that after if it's a moving bed, so it's like it's a drum filter, you put that after your return pump. Numerous outlets, you'd split it after this product, so all the water's going through. We'd recommend, if it's a high ratio pump, to put it on a bypass, so you can tweak the flow going through it according to what your readings are. That'll safe start a pond then to aquaria, so it'll safeguard the fish for 10 to 12 weeks, maybe longer if the load's not too heavy. Anything that is produced in aquaria will go through the filtration, start your culture, but it won't allow it back in the pond, so it safeguards your fish.
So obviously this has been, we were talking behind the camera, there's been a lot of fairly extensive testing to try and break this product.
Yeah, independent.
Literally trying to break it,
yeah.
Trying to prove you wrong.
Absolutely, yeah. Independent field studies went out to, as I think you're aware, Sunnybank Koi.
Yes, yeah.
They started off their new pond, which would hold up to 700 or 800 koi.
Yeah.
Brand new filter from Burton's. They put this filter on. They put the reactor after their filter, and they had no readings for 8 weeks. As this product then starts to diminish over the next 4 or 5 weeks, the filter then kicks in and takes over in line with aquaria, which is the most important thing, so you don't get no spikes.
So this is essentially a vessel that holds resin.
No, it's our own media. We won't release what the media is.
No, of course, but this is your special.
We own the ingredients. It's been formulated so that.
What do you call that media then? It's not a resin. It's.
We just call it our ammonia media.
Right. Okay.
Because obviously we formulated it. There's some large companies who I won't name drop who have taken it, trying to test it, trying to copy it. They thought it was a zeolite-based product, but it's obviously not.
Yeah. So this was, sorry to jump in there, but this is something that I was a little bit intrigued about. So this is obviously a reactor in a sense that it breaks down ammonia.
It just absorbs it.
Absorbs it.
Don't break
but
it down.
But it can't be re-released.
And it won't leach back. No, that's correct.
Obviously, sometimes the issue that a lot of people have when
Absolutely.
they maybe salt the pond or something like that, it discharges back into the pond. But this is locked,
not affected
stored
by salt at all. No,
right.
It just locks it away.
Which is quite a.
It's very unique.
Yes.
Yeah. And the beauty of it is, like I say, it doesn't just stop working. The natural transition, when it starts to diminish, the natural transition from the filtration system allows you a safe transition without an ammonia spike.
Because I know a lot of dealers, obviously, I was telling you, I've been in the trade for quite a long time. When you bring in koi from Japan, for example, if we just apply this to a commercial aspect, let alone the hobbyist side for now, sterilise the pond, they don't want any traces of what's been in the pond. Fish go in, okay, we can manage nitrite to a degree because we can control it, the absorption of it from the fish using salt. Yeah. But ammonia is relied on with water changes.
Absolutely.
Which I don't know whether you've followed any of our videos, but I've got a real connection between poor source water and ill fish. There's a direct correlation, and it seems to be getting worse and worse. So the idea of, a lot of people say flood the pond with tap water. I'm not an advocate of that.
These days you never know what's in the tap water.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And not just chlorine, but chloramines as well.
Yeah.
We're a very big issue now, a growing concern in the UK. And what people don't realise is if you have a product like catalytic carbon, which we do sell,
Yeah.
you take out the chloramines, you're then allowing the ammonia back in your pond, because the chlorine is a push through after the ammonia, which generates chloramines. But if you take the chloramines out, you're left with the raw ammonia.
Yeah,
so
sure.
you're pumping that into your pond. So we've got a range of products that can customise, depending on where you are in the country, to suit what your water supply is and convert it to what it needs to be. So we've got other products, not just this as well.
Sure. So in terms of sort of applying it for your average hobbyist, let's say 1,500 gallon pond, 1,000 gallon pond, maybe running a Nexus or an Easy Pod or a small drum or whatever it might be, how could they implement this in their setup, for example?
Well, it's there's 3 different ways that you can apply it on the box as examples. They're just for illustration purposes, because everybody's pond's different, everybody's pipes are different, everybody's thickness of the pipes and the flow rates are different. So, like I said earlier, you need to get it onto a bypass so you can control the flow through it. If you put it on direct flow from a brand new pond, then we still recommend a bypass going around it. So because it takes out the nature of the product, because it takes out all the fines from the water as well, because there's sponges in there and the pods, you will have to clean it on a regular basis.
Sure.
We've had some instances where it's had to be cleaned every week, some every fortnight, some are not a heavily stocked pond, not a dirty pond. Because of the filter's done its job, they've had to clean it every month. So it's an all-round product for application, but I would always recommend you put it on a bypass and you tweak it to suit your system.
And looking at it, 1.5 inch in, 1.5 inch out.
I designed it at 58mm external, so people on domestic can get a 2-inch stretched on a rubber boot. It's mounted on rubber boots for ease of cleaning. So a 2-inch will go on, or a 63mm will go on, and then you can convert that to whatever your pipe work is.
Fairly easily retrofitted.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is always
Yeah.
nice. Price point as well. These are retailing at
259.
259. So, and that comes with mounting brackets, cartridges.
Yeah, sponges and 6 pods.
Okay.
So the replacement pods will probably be in the market for less than £60. But for what that product does and how long it lasts, I think it's a very good product for the cost.
And again, we were chatting behind the scenes, and you were mentioning about your involvement in other things aquatic. Is this something that can be applied generically across anything aquatic orientated?
Well, we have other applications. The product itself was launched at Aqua 21 as the raw pods, which have been out there for 2 years. They're in 200 shops plus in the UK, and it's across Europe now. Also, Aquadistry have taken the pods in their own brand of Colombo. They like the product that much. They tried to break it in their lab.
Yeah.
And they just love it. They said it's amazing that you've got an ammonia product that does exactly what it says on the box. So everybody likes it, and that product's already out there. As far as this application goes, it's designed purely for the koi trade. It could go onto a large shop system to protect shops, but I am bringing another application out next year, maybe, if we can get it tested in time, which will be for the koi vats.
Yeah, sure.
So at the moment at the koi vats, with huge water changes every day.
Yeah,
Air stones, pipes everywhere. It's a nightmare setting up, and then the guys have got a huge amount of water waste.
Yeah.
Where the new product will actually, it'll be like a quarantine system in effect. So the new application will take water in, take any ammonia out produced. So you're not going to get any nitrites or nitrates anyway. And as the water returns to the vat, it'll oxygenate the water as it goes back in. So you just literally need to plug it in. It'll be motorised.
Yeah.
And again, the magic product inside is the ammonia block.
Yeah. So that's the key to all of this, isn't it?
It's
unleashing this sort of
new product.
Yeah. Yeah. And hats off to you from a personal point of view. It's not the easiest industry in the world
to break into.
Yeah, it's quite an established market. Not too many innovative ideas coming out, probably because of the size and scale that you can apply it to. So yeah, hats off to you for you're seriously invested in this product, aren't you?
Absolutely, not just time but financial as well. Obviously, we've got Resin Products is the company that owns RP Aquatics. That's where the name comes from,
Yeah,
RP,
sure.
Resin Products. And they've got numerous products on the market that have been in the public domain for years. And they customise water on large volumes, on bigger scales, not just
sure.
ponds.
Yeah, yeah.
So when they approached me and said, we believe you've been using resins in aquatics, can we work together? So that's how it all started. I went on board and worked with them. The owner's a really nice guy, small team but very professional, very receptive to ideas. They take the products away. If I say we've got this situation, what product can we formulate to make it work? They go away and do their bit in the lab. I'm by far no chemist. You know,
Yeah,
I
sure.
just tell them what the situation is. This would improve aquatics. Can we do something like this? They go away and do it. I design the application, and it's as simple as that, really.
So easily retrofitted, multiple applications.
Yeah.
And then obviously moving forward, a few ideas underneath the hat that for another day.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, in aquatics, going back to the shop systems just briefly, because the product, a lot of shop systems, they just run, as you're probably familiar with, a reactor in the sump.
Yeah, sure.
And they cut the pods open and put the media in.
Yeah.
And there's numerous shops, which I won't name, up and down the country, who are using that so that they can hold more stock. They don't have to pay extra import costs.
Yeah, sure.
They import once, they can hold a lot more stock than normal because the product supports filtration. It's not to replace filtration.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, you can use it for quarantine, but it's not to replace filtration. The emphasis on supporting filtration.
Yeah, it's a nice supplement to existing setups.
Absolutely.
So I believe we're getting one here at the farm.
You are, yeah. You can have that one if you like.
I think the remit is for us to try and break it as well, but it looks like we're going to have a tough time doing that because it sounds like they've been robustly tested in the field. But yeah, everyone loves a trier, so yeah.
On the point of trying to break the product, I didn't know the company in Europe, Wimica International, who owns Filteroo.
Yeah, sure.
They was very, very interested after Interzoo and wanted to be a part of the field studies and things, which they wasn't, but they says, come back to us when you've got a product. So I contacted them. We sent them over a few vessels and they sent it out to, it's like a study place in Brazil for aquatic products.
Yeah, sure.
Not Brazil, sorry, Belgium.
Yeah.
And they tried to break it. They set up a huge vat of water, 20,000 litres an hour, direct flow through that with no bypass, which is not what it's recommended for. And he put 25 litres of raw ammonia in, to the extent he couldn't stay in the room. He had to open the windows and leave the room, and it took it out overnight. So he literally flew over and come and met me at the All England Koi Show, and he was gobsmacked. He was like, just wanted to come and introduce myself. I'm the guy who tested the product. I couldn't break the product. And on the back of that testing, I believe Wimica Filteroo are taking European distribution of the product.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, forgive me, we try and be as impartial with Koi Talk as possible. You know, we don't endorse anything that we wouldn't use ourselves. Sometimes when a product comes to market and it's a bit too good to be true.
Absolutely.
You forgive us for being British at that point, don't you? But yeah, obviously the cynic in us all comes out. But the key is to all of this is the cartridges.
Absolutely. I mean, I've got an aquatic shop of my own, and I didn't even take part in any of the testing.
Right, okay.
Nothing at all. We wanted it to be impartial, totally independent, and all the field studies are available if anybody wants to see them, apart from the one in Belgium, unfortunately, because I didn't even know that was taking place.
No, yeah, sure.
They just sprung that on us.
But I guess when you're conceiving a product, the best case scenario is people coming up and saying hats off.
Absolutely.
Because it's not as if the struggles with ammonia is nothing new to the aquatic industry. This is since the day of keeping fish inside out of a lake sort of thing. It's been a real struggle for a lot of people. Commercially speaking, that's one issue. From a hobbyist perspective, how many needless losses of fish as well?
And not just the losses of fish. Unfortunately, I don't know what the stats are for the koi trade, but in aquatics, 72% of people give up in the first 3 months. 72%. If you look on any social media outlet or magazines or anything, the biggest aquatic product that is sold across Europe is second-hand tanks. And that's why I wanted this product to last 3 months. So they had to keep going back and tweaking it.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
Because that doesn't just protect the fish while the filter matures, it protects the hobbyist.
Yeah.
It keeps the person coming back to the shop without saying test my water. They come back for another fish. They come back for a plant.
Yeah.
So it
or
retains,
get more invested in the hobby because they enjoy it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then again, you get that natural transition. So the filters mature. They've learnt in the meantime how to keep the tank, how to clean the tank, how and when to clean the filtration, and that product just looks after it. So it grows the hobby actually, because it keeps people in the hobby, and it stops a lot of fish dying. Like
Needless.
Which is the most important thing.
I mean, funny enough, we kind of had a similar mantra when we started Koi Talk. You know, we knew we weren't really going to be retiring on this. It's a serious business, but at the same time, the whole concept for it was retain hobbyists. Grow the hobby.
Absolutely.
Something that we get so much love and passion out of, and then you see people going down the wrong path and getting frustrated and giving it up, and then, as you say, needless fish losses, which could easily be avoided. So, yeah, I'm intrigued to see this in action. Obviously, we're going to do a part 2 to this, so we're going to get it set up and then see how we go. If there's one place that feeds a lot, it's here. So yeah, I'm hopeful that we'll be having this chat in the not too distant future, and we'll all be giving it the big green light. So
just on the point of application, if I may, also,
of course,
we have another product for April, May, June, when people start to get a bit of duckweed, blanket weed, algae, because the sun's up now, the temperatures change. We do a phosphate product, which again is a very long life product, so 10 to 12 weeks, which will help them get through that period. We also do a very high grade carbon, activated carbon, that goes in, so if people have to medicate the pond for whatever reason, if they run a 2-day, 3-day, 5-day treatment, we recommend that you run the carbon for 7 days afterwards and then discard the carbon. You can't leave them in, because we all know carbon will cut back. So there's that aspect of the application. It holds all the pods. And also, if you're not using any of the pods in the interim, you can use it with just the sponges in, and it will just polish your water.
Just as a mechanical?
Absolutely, yeah. On a skimmer even, after the return pump as a part of the maintenance system. Or if you do leave it on your filter, especially with moving bed, when the moving bed, the nature of it, you know, all the biofilm that chips off, unfortunately people don't realise the pond is always looking a bit foggy.
Sure.
If you have got that situation, this product will take all the fines out. But obviously, if your filter's not as good as you think it is, you will clean it more often.
Sure.
Yeah. We've had people who have used it and gone, well, I don't really think it will do much for my pond. And they've says, gosh, I opened it after 24 hours. I was gobsmacked.
Yeah, sure.
And I can see right through my pond now. You know, it's that good.
One of the intriguing things you mentioned there, obviously, we've both got a bit of a, well, you more so, Dave, but the aquatic background. So obviously, being a bit more familiar with phosphates from a marine side of things, it's something that really gets glossed over on the pond side of things. And obviously, this is essentially everyone that suffers with blanket weed, everyone that suffers with green water. This is something that really I don't know many hobbyists, if any, test for phosphates.
That's right, yeah. And they wonder where the algae comes from. It's just not from the sunlight.
Yeah.
It has to have a food source. And what a lot of people don't realise as well, not so much in koi, but in aquatics, got to be careful what I say, I don't want to name drop anything. Let's talk about flake food in general. One of the preservatives for flake food is phosphates. Yeah. So a lot of people don't realise them pumping phosphates into the aquarium themselves.
So overfeeding or excess food that gets pulled into the
everything.
This is all this sort of perfect storm scenario.
Absolutely.
So obviously, sunlight with ponds is a big one. Obviously, we know that. Typically, what we do as hobbyists is we go, where's the sunniest part in the garden? Yeah. Let's put a pond there. But obviously, like you say, the indirect problems that people get with blanket weed is that can be a real pain in the backside, quite a costly one as well.
Well, yeah, the algae or the duckweed, blanket weed, it needs a food source, and it's predominantly nitrates and phosphates. Yeah. So if we can help in one way or the other, it's going to reduce that problem, isn't it?
So all in all, yeah, versatile product. I quite like that. Innovative. Hats off to you, because I can only imagine the stresses and the difficulties in this day and age, trying to make a product for quite a crowded market. I think price point, you've kept it quite competitive. You know, hats off to you for that as well. I think to get any sort of filtration these days for under 300 quid is difficult, and this obviously we'll hopefully find out in the near future. It's a well added, well thought out product.
Thank you very much. We're only dealing with main distributors. So the key distributor for our raw products, the pods, was J&K Aquatics. They,
Yeah,
you
sure.
know, shops, garden centres, they can buy this now through J&K Aquatics, and the price is set. And they monitor that, they manage that. So if anybody starts undercutting the market to protect the product, it'll be knocked back to them straight away. Same with SKS now, they've just taken on distribution for the koi
Sure.
centres,
Yeah.
large koi centres. So those will be the two main distributors in the UK.
So if you're a dealer watching this video, most people in the industry will be familiar with both of those distributors.
Absolutely.
So
And the price is set exactly the same with both.
So there's no sort of there's protection for the dealer and protection for the hobbyist as well.
Exactly, yeah. It's priced so that everybody can afford to have it, basically.
Yeah, I like that. So yeah, I think we'll probably do a part 2, Dave, if you're
Okay,
happy with that.
absolutely.
And then yeah, we'll touch base and see if we can break the unbreakable. But yeah, thanks very much for your time, Dave, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next video, guys.
Thanks very much.